Alright guys, welcome to another electronics video. So today I thought I'll make a video about some of the equipment that I use in terms of diagnosing and repairing motherboards and so forth. So I know a lot of you have been asking about what sort of equipment that I use for what and when. So let's start off with my multimeter. So the multimeter that I use is a Flux 115. This multimeter I spent a decent amount of because I needed something that would work accurately and I didn't have any disturbance going on from there. So this is my Flux 115. This is what I use to diagnose boards and most videos and so forth. I've got a bench power supply. That's a regulated power supply from JCar, and that's the model number there, MP3086. That's up to 30 volts at 3 amps. So that's what I use when I'm diagnosing boards for a short or so forth. I've just got a LED light here which is mounted on a pole here, nice and bright, so I can see the circuit board and so forth. I use the solder flux that I use is a Kingbo, and it's a flux type RMA-218, and this is what I've been using for a while now. It works, it's great, it's got no issues with it. A selection of solders. This one here is just a little one from AliExpress, 0.3 mm, if I'm using it for circuit boards and so forth, so I can use that. I've got a decent one here, a bigger size, and this one is for terminals that are bigger. So in terms of, like, let's just say you've got solder joints on amplifier boards that require a decent amount of solder, so I'll use that one there. I've got a selection of pliers. I've got a solder sucker there. I've got a desoldering braid there, pliers, cutters, a syringe filled with that flux that I was just showing you, a scalpel, a selection of brushes, some pens, some prying tool, markers, and a UV light there. The soldering station that I use for the hot air, I use a Huawei 8786D. That's just my heat hot air station. That's very decent, and it's been with me for a past few years now, and I bought it for about $80, and I use a decent amount of soldering iron here, which is a Hako 936. I bought this from eBay for about $50-$60. I've got a scope, a camera, microscope camera, a Men's Vision one, and this works fine for me. I've used it at multiple times. It works great, and that's projected to that TV there. I've got a BGA rework station, and this works great if I'm needing it to rework a BGA chip on a motherboard such as a PS4 and so forth. I've got a selection of wires, cables, connectors, PS4 gear, whatever I need for that. I've got a PCB holder, and I've got a selection of screwdrivers, tools, so security torques there. I've got a selection of screwdrivers ranging from 0.3 all the way up to a 5mm. I've got little ones there, and a couple of tweezers, and a IPA, and I've got a this is a USB charging device which also shows me how much amp I'm drawing per circuit. I've got acetone, isopropyl, and we're back to the multimeter. So that's all the equipment that I use. I don't use anything fancy, expensive, or too expensive. I just need something that's great and that's going to do the job. And the biggest problem that you could have is if your equipment fails and it's not diagnosing the way it could be, but it also comes back on how well you're diagnosing things. So those are some of the equipment that I use. This is most of the things that I use on a daily basis if I'm diagnosing or fixing motherboards. Alright, so that's a short video on the equipment that I use and what I have in front of me when I'm diagnosing or fixing motherboards. Hope this video has helped somebody out there, and thank you for watching.